If a woman constantly says she doesn't want to talk about it, please run. Yes, my kings, this is the very first thing that if a woman says, you should immediately start planning how to run away from her. If a woman is constantly telling you how she doesn't want to talk about the issue, or maybe you have something you want to settle with her, and you just want to sit down, talk to your woman and settle things peacefully, and you get her always saying, I don't want to talk about it. Let's leave it for later. Let's not talk about it now. I am not in the mood for this right now. She is always trying to run away from that conversation. Please run. Communication is one of the things that would definitely keep any form of relationship. In fact, if we all communicated very sincerely to the people around us, to our spouses, trust me, there wouldn't be a lot of problems or a lot of divorces in our modern times. But because we are scared of communicating, even when we do communicate, we don't communicate sincerely. And even when we do talk about things, we don't talk about them because we want to get to the root of it and solve it. We just talk about them on a very shallow level, on a very, very shallow level. And that is why a woman like this, who is often telling you she doesn't want to talk about stuff, is very dangerous, and you should definitely flee from her. Because if she never wants to talk about things, that means she would never want to settle them, and that also means she will bear lots of grudges. And when those grudges begin to pile up, even without her knowledge, she will start becoming bitter, and it will affect both you, her, and the relationship. And that is why if you notice that it is a habit, that she's constantly telling you she doesn't want to talk about stuff, you should definitely run. Now, if she constantly says it's not that bad or it's not that deep, then you should definitely run. Now, my kings, the key word here is constantly. If a woman is constantly telling you that the issues you both have, it's not that deep, it's not that bad, you are taking it too far, you are over-exaggerating, that is your sign that you should definitely flee. If she never sees anything wrong in the things she does or the things she says, or she neglects your feelings, because there are tendencies, there are probabilities that she might see something as shallow, but you will take it deeper because you are two different human beings, and the way you see things would definitely be different from the way she sees things. But if she's always rubbing it off, trying to rub off your feelings, making you feel your feelings are not valid, that is when you should definitely flee, especially if you've drawn her attention to this. Because here's the thing, sometimes women can do this without really knowing that they are doing that. So if she's constantly doing that and you draw her attention to it, and she's really in that relationship, with her head, she really wants that relationship to work, she will definitely work on it and you will see changes. But when you draw her attention to it and you notice that it's still recurring, she's always telling you, oh, it's not that deep, you are taking this thing too far, that's not how it's supposed to be, you are over-exaggerating this, that means she is always canceling your feelings. She's always invalidating your feelings, and that is when you should flee. Another thing that if she says you should definitely flee is you are nothing without me. Now, my kings, this is a no-brainer. If a woman is constantly telling you how you are nothing without her, that goes to show you that she feels like she's doing you a favor by being with you. And if a woman feels like she's doing you a favor by being with you, there is already a faulty foundation for that relationship. And there is no way it is ever going to work out unless you want to live the rest of your life suffering in frustration. So if you don't want that for yourself and you want something serious with this woman and you notice that she's constantly reminding you or telling you how you are nothing without her, please flee. That woman is definitely not the one for you, and she will cause you more harm than good. Now, another thing that if a woman says you should flee from her is, I know. Now, my kings, again, the key word here is constantly. If a woman is constantly telling you, I know, before you even finish what you want to tell her, that is a problem. And here is the thing. Just like the other point that I mentioned, you have to draw her attention to it, because sometimes she might actually be doing it without knowing that that's what she's doing. I used to be like that until someone drew my attention to it. When you are intelligent, you kind of always feel like you know where someone is getting to before they finish what they want to say. So you end up not, giving them that opportunity to finish what they are saying. You feel like, oh, I know. Oh, is that what you're saying? And sometimes you even try to complete what the other person is saying for them. And that is why this is a problem. So when you draw her attention to it, that she's always rushing off the things she wants to say before you finish them by saying she knows, and then she continues to do it, that is when you have to flee. But if you draw her attention to it and you notice that she pays attention to it and intentionally starts working on it, then you know you still got your woman and things can still work out. But when you draw her attention to it and you notice that she's not at all interested in changing, that she continues to say it, she continues to constantly, brush off what you want to say by saying she knows or she understands what you're about to say already without even letting you finish, then that is when you should definitely flee from her, because that is never ever going to end well, because you're in a relationship where you cannot share how you feel, because before you even get to share how you feel, you're being written off, you're being cut off, and with all the, oh, I know, don't worry, I know where you're headed to. That is definitely going to ruin things, because if you can't air your feelings, how is the other party going to know how to understand you better and how to treat you better? So yes, my kings, when a woman is constantly telling you she knows, you should definitely flee from her. Now, the last thing that if a woman says you should run from her on my list today is you are the problem. Now, my kings, again, like you are this constantly. If a woman is constantly telling you you are the problem in that relationship, you should definitely flee from her, because a woman who takes it that she's never wrong, she can never be the cause of any issues, then that woman is never ever going to own up to her mistakes, neither is she going to apologize, neither are things going to work out well in that relationship. That is why it is better you flee the moment you notice that that is what she believes. As long as it has to do with her, everything is your fault. She never steps on your toes, but you rather are always stepping on her toes. If there is a problem, if there is an issue, something the both of you can sit, talk out, the whole point for her is you are the problem. So since you are the problem, you're the one who has to work on yourself. You're the one who has to work on the matter. You are the one who has to settle the issue. And trust me, if that heavy burden of being the only one settling problems and issues in the relationship is, laid on you, it's definitely going to affect you as a person. And that is why when you notice that a woman is constantly telling you you are the problem, you should definitely flee from her. So that's it for this video, my kings. These are 5 things that if a woman says to you, you should definitely run. Please do let me know if you found this video interesting and informative as well. Do well to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Turn on the notification bell, like this video, drop a comment down below, share this video with your family and friends, and see you in the next one.